Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. I'm your host, Saffron Asteria, and I'm joined today by James A. Lyons. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's nice to actually talk to you in person as well. So, like, we've spoken over social media quite a lot over the last few years, and it's quite nice to be here.
It is nice. I find that that's a bit high. I find that it really helps with interactions when you actually know people.
Yeah,
because then you can gauge like what kind of vibe they've got going on, and you can like I find that it's really hard to gauge whether or not people are being sarcastic, and there are some people that I've interviewed that I thought were just rude, but actually they just think they're funny.
Yeah,
so it makes a big difference.
I say, like, that times I like sent you a DM like, oh, here's all my links, and it's like, oh, actually I realised I sent you the wrong links, or I've changed the links. That actually can I update those? Yeah.
No, it definitely helps to be able to talk to people in person. But anyway, I'm glad you're here, and we are going to learn a bit more about you and your process. But I just wanted to say congratulations on your latest release, East End Girls, West End Girls, which came out on the 25th, which was like basically 5 minutes ago. Does it feel good to have another one out in the wild?
It does. It's really weird because like the build up of it. We probably announced it in October last year. So we had this like 6 months build up to it coming out.
Yeah.
And then it comes out, and I did the Bournemouth Writing Festival the following day, and had the copies there to sell and things like that, and did a panel there. And then it's like, oh, it's out. Like, what do I do now? Oh no, I've got to do more Canva art and more Instagram posts and pretend I'm going to do more TikToks. So like, oh no, I actually have to promote this now and not write. It's like, oh, what am I doing? So you get that weird sort of lull afterwards. It's like, okay, that's done, it's out, and it's sort of in this like weird limbo stage for a bit. So like, I should be promoting it for pre-order, but it's already out, and like, how do I change that marketing thing? And it's like, but yeah, it's been a good week and a bit since it's come out, and it's seems to have gone down quite well so far, which is good because I'm proper proud of this one.
That's awesome. I absolutely love the cover.
Thank you very much.
It's fantastic. It's really, really eye-catching, and it kind of, I don't know, it made me like double taked.
But
yeah, it's really, really cool. So for those who sort of don't know anything about the book, could you give us a bit of an overview about what it's about?
Yes, this is my first adult book that I've done. So I've done sort of 2 YA and 1 sort of middle grade, like properly released in the past. So this is an adult comedy novel that follows a queer 23-year-old who has a homophobic mother and finds out his estranged deceased uncle was a famous drag queen in Soho in the 1980s. So he goes to London, and his uncle's dying wish was to find the remaining members of his drag troupe from the 80s, and which he never did before he died. So Harry, the MC, takes that on and does a road trip around the UK, basically hunting down drag queens and getting them back on side, and sort of learning about their part in LGBTQ activism and their time on the Soho scene and all sort of the chaos that comes along with that. Because I want it to be like very heavy on the comedy bit. And I remember like doing, after I signed with Anna, my agent, it's like, okay, like we can push the humour a bit more. So I kept sending the chapters like, have I gone too far now? And it's like, oh, there's going to be a point where there's got to be a line somewhere, but I managed to just stay up to the line, so it went okay. Although say that when I sent the first chapter back, she picked me up on the 3rd word. He said, like, you can't have fuck as your 3rd word. I was like, oh, okay.
You absolutely can.
It was a chapter title. I was like, okay, maybe I won't do that. But yeah, it's a lot of like, I'll say brash humour, drag humour, one-liners, stupid punny bits, and sort of a lot of like queer comedy and queer chaos. Yeah, it was a pleasure to write, to be honest. And I sort of missed the characters already, which is weird. So I think they sort of live on somewhere in my head, because it all. So I've started writing this one in bits about 3.5 years ago. So it's been a long old time for it to come together. But yeah, I'm glad it's out, and it's like it's just, if you like books with queer humour and feel good stories and happy endings in both senses, then this book will be this one will be for you.
Amazing. So, I mean, it sounds like it was an absolute blast to write, and you say that you've like layered this comedy in there, but you've also included lots of like history and lots of teaching experiences for people and sort of going along the journey with your characters. Did you have to do much research for the sort of more informative part of it, or is it stuff that you sort of naturally know?
Yeah, so it was. So I read a couple of books, sort of non-fiction books about like the AIDS crisis and London in the 80s and what it was like for gay people. And I wanted some of what the characters had been through in the book that the main character Howard's learning is he's sort of learning about real events that these people attended fictionally. So there's like the die-ins, homophobic attacks and the AIDS crisis and the gays word bookshops in there and the marches and the miners and all that coming together. So I want to try and include as much of that as possible so it's authentic at the same time. But you sort of learn it with the character. So he's learning from these drag queens what they went through. But that is as much based on fact as possible.
Yeah.
So sort of putting them in real life situations, but not sort of tarnishing the real life experience of the people who were actually there and who actually did that. So sort of like they're sort of side characters in real people's main story, if that makes sense.
Interesting. That's cool. Somebody in the chat has just said my mic is tripping out. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's cutting out. Hopefully it's fixed itself. But thank you, Grant, for letting me know. Before I ask you another question, I just want to say thank you for joining us, Dizzy. Nice to see you. And thank you, obviously, Grant, for joining us today and for letting me know about the tech stuff. I don't know what's happening or if you can hear me clearly, but let me know if it's fixed itself. So you have written, obviously, books for a much younger audience, and now this is more for like probably 18 plus, maybe a little bit younger. What made you decide to sort of pivot your target audience? Was it just the story was the story you were going to tell and that's who the audience was, or was it a conscious decision?
So this book started as 3 different books, so like 3 different works in progress that I had.
Yeah.
One was about a kid who lived in a seaside town who wanted to join an art collective to escape. I had a sort of like a time hop one about someone who was in London and kept getting hit by a bus and he had to try and get to a certain stage and do the right thing to survive for longer and longer. And then I had a short story about drag queens. And they were all young adult, all 3 of them. So it's so when I was trying to think of an idea, I thought, the drag short story is the one that's like, actually, this could be fleshed out into a novel.
Yeah.
And it's like working out from the final scene, like a drag reunion, how to work backwards to sort of who's learning about this, who's putting that into action, and why are they in London? So it's like working back. Actually, I've written 20,000 words of this story somewhere else. So it's sort of taking those elements and putting together. And the first, half a draft was young adults.
Okay.
And I entered, it's the Literature Consultancy's free reads for LGBTQ plus authors. And I managed to get placed in that, one of the 9 winners in 2024.
That's cool.
It was very cool and very unexpected. The first thing I've won with my writing, so I was like, oh my God, this is excellent. So I had like a query critique from an editor. And I thought, right, okay, I'll keep doing this as a young adult novel. Had a few changes in there which changed the story. And I queried it as a young adult novel for probably about 3 or 4 months. And I don't think I got any full requests. I think I've had a couple of partials. And you get the rejection, say, oh, it's not for me, sorry, but
yeah,
it's not you, it's me type thing. But I had one agent, and I can't remember, I think her name's Amy, an American agent, who's got a good blog. I'm pretty sure it's her who emailed saying, oh, this is not for me, but just to let you know, if you make this adult, it will probably work a lot better.
Interesting. Okay.
I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I think that sort of let me explore sort of more mature themes in there and push the humour element a lot further than it would be if it stayed young adults. I think that was a turning point. And yeah, I think it's the best rejection I've ever got, because they were so right. And it's like, if I read like the young adult version now, it's like, it's very beige. It's just, it's not saying it's a terrible book, but it's just not really plot driven, a bit boring and a bit too safe, I think. But yeah, I think it's that's what made it an adult book. And then I started querying it as an adult book. I think I ended up with 10 full requests.
Oh wow!
As an adult, and I was like, okay, that's a lot better. So they were right, and so they managed to land an agent with it as well by doing the adult one.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So shifting those gears for yourself, how challenging was that for you to, I don't know, shift the narrative?
I think obviously you should always research what you're writing about to make sure it's historically accurate, but there's a lot of the stuff about like the AIDS crisis and all that happened in the 80s in London and around the world at that time to the community that wasn't in it. I think actually for me, it's actually I should be exploring this more. I should research this more and put it in there and not sort of shy away. I think, I don't know, maybe it's like a mental block for me, not pushing those boundaries as far and going deeper into the history. I think I think I did like 16 or 17 drafts in the end of this novel, and it's just trying to get things right and adding things at certain points. Or, oh, this doesn't make sense. Or I'll add this in. Actually, I'll take this section out, and you take a section out, and then you've got to change 100 things down the line again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's it was I don't know. It's all a bit of a blur really, because I think I'm so involved in this story, and it's like I've basically living this story for over 3 years now that it's hard to remember exactly what point things changed and when I changed stuff. And there's bits in there. So there's this bit in the first chapter, and it's only when I got the paperback copies through, and I thought I'll have a flick through to read the first chapters. And I was like, I'm sure there's a threesome in the first chapter, but I must have taken it out, and I can't remember taking it out. So like, who knows where that went? But,
probably just closed down and just went on autopilot at some of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens to a lot of people, and especially if you're like completely changing the identity of a book, you're gonna just sort of plow through it and get it ready, because it was solid advice, clearly, because it's giving you the opportunity to learn more and also, I don't know, explore things in more detail, which is super important. And I mean, through doing that research, did you have any like personal growth? Was it an interesting thing to have to research?
It was, and I sort of feel a bit, I guess, ashamed is maybe a strong word, but that I didn't know enough about the history.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm a gay man. I lived in London for 5 years. I went drinking in Soho, and I don't think I realised enough about the history, or I thought I knew a lot, but didn't until you actually read into it and like, hear all these like personal stories. And I remember I went to London for a football tournament probably 3 years ago. And I went up there on the train, and the morning was free. So I'll see what's on. And they have have you seen the AIDS quilts? Have you ever seen that? And they had that out in an exhibition in London.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, I'll go and see it. And yeah, I think that's just very sobering to actually see like each panel is a person who's been through this. And there's people in the exhibition walking around with me who knew people on those panels.
Oh, wow.
And just like, shit, that's like, I've not understood this easily enough to, you sort of, I guess like people look back at COVID in 20 years time, so, oh yeah, that's got quite bad. Until you sort of experience or know people who've experienced it and hear the real stories of real people that aren't just fictionalized for TV. I think that's when it sort of hits. So I think it's definitely opened my eyes a lot more to like the LGBTQ history and say this is just what's in London. So like I know New York and San Francisco and all that stuff that come with it. I still I know about it, but I don't know about it, if that makes sense. So I think there's a lot more growth. There's always a lot of growth to do in terms of like your personal, the background to who you are and those people that sort of paved the way before.
Yeah, but it is very, very easy to forget that. It's, I mean, when you're just living your life and you're just existing, especially in like modern life. And I think you need to cut yourself some slack and not feel too bad about it, because like we're just trying to exist.
Yeah,
people are just trying to exist and get up in the morning and stay hydrated and go to work and make sure you have enough fiber and enough protein, and I've got to make sure I have a walk, otherwise I'll have a mental health crisis or whatever. And all of those things to keep ourselves alive, it is much easier to not look back at difficult and painful periods of time, because
and I think like with social media as well, like 'cause normally like before smartphone and stuff, you'd see the news at 6 o'clock at night in the UK, like, oh, that's the news for the day. But now every time you open your phone and go online, you're seeing news. And whether that's mainstream news channels or it's news from other people about a billion different things, everyone's got an opinion on something. So it feels like every day there's a new story coming out, and it's obviously impossible to keep on top of that, but what should I keep on top of? What have I missed? And you can't keep on top of everything, but I think we shouldn't be ashamed to look at our history and realize, like, not even what our communities and people have gone through, but what we could be doing better and take from that in our own lives.
Yeah, I think that goes for so much of, even things that are happening now. When you look back on like patterns in history, and when it repeats itself, and you think like if we just looked back and analyzed that, then we could prevent XYZ from happening again. But yeah, it's fascinating, and I think we shouldn't feel bad for not knowing things that we don't know, especially if things like that aren't taught in schools. Like, it's not something that's part of our curriculum. It's not something that we really like exposed to unless we look for it, or unless people within your community talk about it. And again, like, people don't want to talk about sad things.
No,
and that's what it is, deeply sad.
And like when I was at school, it was Section 28 in the UK. So it was seen as promoting homosexuality if it's talked about. There's no books in the library. And it's like, so yes, I do feel a bit ashamed about not knowing it, but then also I wasn't allowed to be exposed to it at the same time. Like it's saying, like, I've been back to my old school last year, and they've got an LGBTQ society. And I met them, and like these kids are like 11 and 12, and like said, oh, we'll answer some questions and see. And I thought, oh, they're going to ask about a book and art stuff and stuff like that, because obviously I work with Bradley. And there's one of them's like, oh, I've got a friend who's LGBT. What can I do to support them? And I was like, Jesus Christ, you're 12 and you're asking questions that's good. Yeah. And I was like, that's amazing. See, and this is my old school where, like, in the library that they didn't, in the same library where I couldn't find books with people like myself. So it's like, it's good to see like that 25 years later actually change.
That's fantastic.
And it sort of gives you some hope, which is good. And I think that's what the world needs.
Oh, we absolutely need hope. But that's just so nice. And that's really sweet. Yeah. I really love that. I'm glad you got to have the experience to see that, people that are coming along behind you are having a better time. Because that's what progress is all about. Like, okay, suffering through XYZ now, but it means that people are going to have less of a shit time later on, and that's kind of the goal of being progressive, or trying to make things better and more accessible to people.
And it's always like the loudest voices, or the voices you tend to hear, are the ones who are probably against you. But you got to remember that there is a massive bubble of people who are on your side and want to support you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So that's great, and I'm glad that you were able to fill in those gaps of knowledge for yourself, and it seems like it's sort of changed you for the better, so that you can, I don't know, have a better understanding of your own community. And I mean, that helps us to tell more authentic stories and make things more believable, more relatable. So yeah, I think that's important in any kind of fiction, like whatever you're trying to convey, to make it as real as possible, so that the reader can actually see through the eyes of your characters. Unless you're, I don't know. I mean, there is an element of suspension of disbelief, because you're trying to immerse yourself in a fictional world and all that sort of stuff. But I suppose it depends on the message you're trying to get across.
Yeah, and I think it works for all genres as well, because in my writing group, and a lot of people in the writing group are fantasy authors. And like, it's not my own ignorance really, genre, because like fantasy is not my thing at all, apart from the film Labyrinth with David Bowie, which is incredible.
Life-changing,
favourite film. But fantasy books aren't really my thing. Like, I'll read a blurb and it's like, I don't know, it's like, oh, this is a story. Oh, by the way, they're all fish, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like,
read that book.
But But then when you're actually in groups and with authors who you're sort of with them as they're starting, I've got an idea for a book I might try, and you're with them as they're writing it, and you think, actually, I understand what message they're trying to put in their books, but if I just read a blurb, I might not understand that. And I think that's because, like, so I think it's got all genres which works.
Yeah,
it's not just contemporary books or books set today in the real world that can have the message and the history of different cultures and communities and stuff like that. So I think it's important.
Oh, for sure. And what better way to explore challenging subjects or subjects that you're unfamiliar with than in the safety of fiction? Because then nothing can go wrong. Like, the story is being told as it's being told from the perspective of the author, from the perspective also of their characters. And you can almost ask questions as you're reading things that sometimes people are too scared to ask.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I love books so much, is because they're safe. Like, even if the subject is like really awful or scary or whatever, it's still a totally safe place to play out all of those like what ifs. Yeah. So I like writing as well, because I'm like, what if I was inside out? Like, I could explore that really safely and not have to go through the hell of being inside out. So that was the first thing that came to my head. I don't know why, but here we are. Well, that's where we're
you have to write it now.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing this evening. So just thinking about your other work. So you have, as I've said, East End Boys and West End Girls that came out last week. You also have Half the World Away, which came out November 2025, Out in Greenwood, which came out March 2025, and A Different Kind of Superpower, which was 2023. So I think it's November. Yeah. So when did you start your writing journey?
Probably about 2016. So I think it's about 10 years now.
Okay.
So I did self-publish 2 books, which there's one called Doorway 54, which I think has got a solid story in it.
Okay.
And my mum loves it.
Oh, that's nice.
But it needs a lot of editing. So I think I will go back to it at some point and actually like go back with like 10 years of knowledge now to go back and re-edit that and try and get something from that, because the story's there. I've done the first draft. I've done the hard work. So I think I'll go back to that one at some point.
Yeah.
Now I did one called The Paperboy, which is sort of a prequel to Out in Greenwood.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I missed that one, because I had the friggin' title. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But so those are both self-published, and I did like a book of short stories. Again, needs a lot of editing, but weirdly, my dad likes that one. So weirdly, my parents like 2 of the books that maybe they don't like edited books. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I need to go back and do them properly. So I started doing a sequel to The Paperboys that came out in Greenwood. And that got picked up by SRL Publishing. And then they also took on Half the World Away as well. And that one's quite a personal one, really, because it's set between 95 and 98. And so it's set during Section 28. And it's like a dual narrative, and it starts with a pen pal project at a school where Theo writes a letter, is not expecting a reply, and he gets gets a response from someone called Alex, who's like a private school boarder from a completely different background. It's a bit like Blood Brothers, I guess, in a way. So you hear Alex's side of stuff through his letters to Theo, and it's sort of exploring. They both realise that they're gay, and it's like understanding how they're different in their own environments, and how they sort of come together and sort of grow together over 3 years. So each chapter is a different month for each 3 years. I think what I liked about that one as well was all the pop culture stuff I could put in there.
Oh yeah.
So it's like Alex is doing a school talent contest, and he's dressed up as Ginger Spice, and they're the Spice Girls, and
I knew
all this kind of stuff.
Spice Girls. I knew it.
So it's like looking back at it. Oh, like if you look back at that period, it's like, oh, I remember that, and it's just like something that happened probably like a 2-week period in your life back then. But as you start researching, you think, oh god, yeah, I remember collecting ring pulls to buy it or get the exclusive Spice Girls CD that you had to send off from Pepsi, and collecting Tazos from the crisps and all that kind of stuff. It's sort of like, there is a lot of pop culture in it, but I didn't want to make it, there's books like let's shoehorn every single thing that happened and sort of think that, but I think sort of like set it in the real world of that time. So it's good putting like key points in through that. So I was quite happy with that. I think it's because it's a personal one of like, I think that's the one that's got the most of my own experiences in it, and what it's like to grow up in a sort of countryside town that's 99% white, very middle class in the town, and like not being exposed to any different cultures really, I think. So it's like my experience of that, and sort of trying to look back on that, and I guess it's sort of healing in a way.
Yeah, I bet.
I guess that's
yeah. Awesome. So we've just had Sarah join us, who also loves your cover. Thank you for joining us, Sarah. It's nice to see you.
Thanks, Sarah.
So you said it was quite a personal thing, and you were able to put a lot of your own experiences in it. Did you base it on your actual real world experiences of like, did you have a pen pal, or is it more like your experiences within that location?
It's more within that location. I think the pen pal element came because I wanted the main character to have like a channel to sort of like this pen pal exists in reality, but the character feels like, it's a safe space for me to say anything I want and not get judged for it.
Yeah.
And then you sort of, in the replies from Alex, you sort of learn about what Theo's told him in his last letter. So sort of try and merge the chapters together that way.
Oh, fun.
But I didn't have a pen pal, unfortunately.
Oh, it's not too late.
I think it is.
I don't know, my friend who lives back in England, she started a pen pal project, which I didn't know was still a thing now, and she loves it.
You've seen the price of a stamp?
Oh, that's true. Maybe she does it through her work. I don't know.
Yeah, franking machine at work. That'll do. It's like £1.70 for a stamp these days. Like, if you send a letter, it's got to be second class or snail, like really slow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Series of carrier pigeons.
Yeah, smoke signals across the coast. That's what I do.
Oh, honestly, cost of posting crisis.
Yeah, so scared to send any books out at the moment.
Oh my gosh, I was looking at postage here, and the postage for like it's called like ground advantage or something, which is just like regular post. It's gone up by 8%. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's similar here.
Things
I think like £1.50 to £1.70 or something recently, and it's like,
don't even talk to me about Freddos, honestly.
What did I see the other day? Oh, do you remember Wham bars?
Oh, I love a Wham bar. Yeah,
there's in the shop the other day, 85p.
Stop it, for a Wham?
Yeah, they were 10p back in the day.
Criminal.
I'm sounding like my dad.
What is happening to us now? So it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Last time I went back to England, it was literally a year ago. I thought the prices had gone up then, and I was looking at stuff I was gonna like ask my friend to pick me up some British snacks and bring them over to Texas because I miss the good chocolate. The chocolate here is disgusting. It's just ridiculous. I couldn't even justify it. It's crazy, but I did. However,
that's what I think. Like, if you take it in the context of like books, you get like a Kindle book for say £5-6, or a paperback for say 10 or £13. I think like people say old books have gone up, but like that's 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. It's like, be fair, it's not that much. I think you have like different sort of views on how much things are depending on what it is. So you could say, I went down, like went to Asda and I had to get some shopping. It cost me £15. Like so much, everything's so expensive. Then you go out and see your mates go for a couple of drinks and you spend 20 quid. And that's fine because that's different economics. That's pub economics, and you got different supermarket economics, and like, so it's just like, I think price of pints hit £10 for the first time this week. So it's like £12 for paperback, or £13 for paperback. It's a bargain. Yeah, it lasts you more than half an hour. So
it's crazy. I feel like books are more expensive here, and like for a hardcover, it's like $30, which is maybe £17 or something.
Yeah.
It just feels extortionate. But like, if you look at indie books, for example, they're so much cheaper. A lot of them still really, really good. So you don't have to go to Waterstones.
Do you think self-published authors?
Yeah.
Do you feel like they undersell themselves in terms of pricing quite a bit? Do you think it's more? They're cheaper because there's sort of something inside things like, actually, like, nobody will pay this for my work, I'll keep it cheaper and sacrifice my own profits for other people's.
From my own observation, because it is really different from person to person, truly. There's the side where there are people who think like people aren't going to want to spend that much money on an indie book and whatever. I'm not saying it's everyone, so don't just leave me alone. The group of people like this, and then there is also the group of people that don't understand how much they're worth. And I don't know if that's a confidence thing, but there are authors out there who charge 10 quid for an ebook, which I think is a bit cheeky. And they still get great sales. Is the book any better than anybody else's? I don't know. But is their marketing a bit better? I think there's some psychology behind it that I think needs to be explored a lot more in the indie scene for sure. And whether that's self-published or like through indie presses. To earn any money from a book, you have to charge quite a lot for it, especially with the changes that like Amazon and a couple of other websites have made, where you have to charge a minimum amount and they take quite a big chunk of your margin away. I don't know, there is this perceived thing, because if I want to read a book, I'll pay the money for it. Like and if I can't afford it, I'll wait and save up and get the, or I'll get the ebook or whatever I can afford. But it has absolutely really no bearing on how much money it is.
Yeah.
Because like, as long as it's not above average market value for a paperback of that size, I don't think it's overpriced in any way. No. And the amount of money that people sink into, like, there are self-published authors that everybody does it differently. But like, if you go through the standard, like getting cover art and doing the marketing and all the time, even if it doesn't cost you actual money, the amount of hundreds of hours that goes into creating a book, you need to get your money back.
Yeah,
it is worth that because of all the hard work that's gone into it. So I don't know. Yeah, I think, long story short, I do think that there are a lot of people who self-publish that severely undersell their books because they're worth paying money for.
Yeah, it's not even just the writing. Like, say if you've got a Canva Pro subscription, that's probably like $15 a month over there. Like, I think it's £11 over here. Oh, is it?
It's quite
I think it's $11.99 a month here. But that's obviously you're paying out 100. I can't do maths. 120 quid plus. And that's another cost. The cost isn't just in the book. It's in everything you do in writing costs you money.
Yeah.
And time.
You want to know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it because I'm like, books should be accessible and cheap. But I'm also like, but I want a quality book and I want it to be printed really nicely. And I also want the story to be really good. And I want the cover to be good. If I'm going to pay a bunch of money. But if the actual story itself appeals to me, I don't really give a shit what the cover looks like. I don't really give a shit how much it costs.
Yeah.
I want to read a story, but I'm not the same as everybody else. So
I think that's why like books in charity shops over here are really good, because a lot of them got such a wide range of it. And like just up the road, because I'm in Bournemouth, a place called Boscombe, just about a mile away. They've got, outside the supermarket, they've got like a little free library. And that's always got loads of stuff on it. And like,
that's cool.
There's not really saying, there's a lot of rubbish on there. Like there's a lot of books from like the 80s on cricket and stuff. But you also get a lot of novels and various bits on there as well, which I think, and that's free. So you can take your old books up there for someone else to enjoy, and then you can take a book from there. So yeah, I think like there are other ways to find more books rather than always thinking you have to buy new. And then the new ones you do buy are the ones that you really want to buy. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I would love to, when I finally finish my fucking book, I'd love to do like a library type thing where people can like borrow the physical book and then send it back to me, and all they've got to do is pay for the postage. That'd be
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
This is like the start of Netflix, but for books. Yeah. That's a lot. We're talking about libraries, aren't we? Yeah. we just invented the library.
Support your local library is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, I mean, like I love libraries a lot, and they're a little bit different here. They feel like there's a lot more money in them, but there's also like funding issues, so it's just a perception thing. But like the local library from my town where I grew up, in Kent, closed down. I used to spend loads of my time at the library, and it just makes me really sad.
Yeah, I think we had one closed down here recently, a couple of weeks. I think it needed money for repair work, and it hasn't been done. And then now the roof's collapsed, and then the council are like, "Oh, we don't know if we're going to bother fixing that."
The poor books.
It's like, but like that's one whole part of the town. Like a lot of people and the kids in that area probably, and not just as a place to get books, but like a social space and a networking space and internet access for people who don't have that at home. So it's not. I think like sometimes people view libraries as, oh, it's the thing that we had in the 80s. It's the thing you just buy a book. They don't realise that it is a creative space and it has got facilities for everybody. So.
I do think that there is a pocket of, and this is just like a really frivolous observation, so it's not like factual, whatever, just what I perceive from the situation as it is. I think a lot of times when you get these voracious readers, especially people that like share that on the internet, so I'm talking about like book talk and things like that, they want to own the books.
Yeah.
They want to have the trophies on the shelves. I'm not saying I don't, but they want to have the trophies on the shelves. And I think the concept of like borrowing it to give it back, I think goes against the mindset of wanting to own the thing. But it's the perfect way to see if you like a book.
Yeah.
The library one, give it back. And then if you want a pristine one to go on your shelf as a trophy, you can then buy that as well. But at least you've tried it.
Yeah.
And also I think libraries do spend more money for a book and for ebooks for their distribution. So that's something to consider as well. But yeah, I love a library. I finally got my first library card here. It was very exciting because I needed an ID and that was like a whole fucking thing. And then I got emotional because I was like, I've got a library card here. It felt so good because they have like a library of things. Which is, so this place is like a fantastic community hub, and they have like, you can borrow an electric guitar or a CPAP machine or like a blood pressure monitor or a typewriter, and they've got like random stuff that you can borrow from there as well. A little business center and like study spaces and stuff, and it's really fantastic. So if you have the ability to donate books, donate them to the library.
Yeah, well, so I got about 30 copies of a new one at home, so I'll have to do a round at local libraries and put them in. So
that'd be nice.
I'll put one at the little free library outside the supermarket as well, because I've taken so many books from there.
That's so nice. I love that. Yeah. Anyway, I like books and stuff.
Is that the title of the podcast? I like books and stuff. Is that?
It should have been. Oh, it's not too late. I've only done 100 odd episodes of it. I think we can change it, can't we? Anyway, so who would you say, and this could vary from book to book, who would you say is your target audience? Or who do you write for?
I've always got LGBTQ plus themes. I think that comes from being educated under Section 28 and not seeing myself represented when I was younger. And like, I think keep thinking like, oh, maybe the next one would be more marketable if I didn't. But then that's not, I feel like I'm selling my soul a little bit. I think like, if I've got this ability to write and like put the history into the books, then it feels like sort of a bit of a duty to do so, I guess. But I think I don't want to sort of, I'm only targeting the queer community. I want it to be enjoyed by everybody, but just with queer characters. But I think with this one, because I've put so much humor in it, and I just wanted to write a very silly book with lots of funny things in it, and just something that people can just read and switch off and laugh at the silly one-liners and things like that. But I don't think I really target anyone in particular. Yeah, a bit of a wishy-washy answer, that one.
But, sort of, but it's I get what you're saying, and I think knowing who your audience are it's an important part of the marketing process. But if you're telling stories that you really truly care about, that's the most important thing. Like if you're trying to, and this is what I've said, I'm sure like 1,000 times already, if you're writing because you love writing, it doesn't matter who your audience is. If you're writing,
I think the right audience will find it.
Exactly.
As long as you market it enough, and once you'll eventually market in the right place to get that sort of more people interested in, and then it's like word of mouth.
You
And I
just
think
have
that's
to stick with it.
Yeah, I think just believe in your story and believe in yourself that it will find the right people, and not to get too frustrated with how long that can sometimes take.
Yeah. I mean, it can take 10 years for a book to reach its full potential. It can take more than that for it to reach its potential. But I think the key is just like sticking with it and sticking to your guns and being true to who you are as a writer. But if you want it to be commercially viable or like commercially successful, then you've got to worry about like, I've got a right to.
Oh,
Oh,
you just
I
disappeared then.
disappeared. I kept talking. But yeah, if you want it to be like commercially successful, then you have to worry about all that stuff about, you know, how can I appeal to the masses and all that sort of thing. But I don't know. I think sort of mirroring what you've already said, not seeing yourself represented growing up must be an incredibly alienating place to be. And it is very cool of you to want to change other people's experiences so that they don't have to go through that.
Yeah, I think like there's so many amazing writers who write queer fiction across all genres now.
Yeah.
And I think like it's so good. And like you can never see them as your they're not the competition. We're part of this movement, and like we try and get the voices out there. Sort of going back to what you're saying about eventually finding the right audience. Wasn't like Heated Rivalry, didn't that first come out in 2019, that book?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, I think only like last, say, 3 to 6 months that's actually blown up because of the TV series and things. But Rachel Reed she stuck to her guns and wrote more books in that series afterwards, even before it'd blown up. And it'd been quite easy to say, oh, I don't know how many it sold during that time, but it could have been quite easy to say, actually,
tons.
I've not found my audience yet, but then come out like
you never
to
know.
now, and then no bookshops in the UK had it because it's so popular.
So yeah, it's wild, and I think the same happened over here as well. Like you just couldn't get hold of it. But I mean, if you think about that, I mean, even when they were filming Heated Rivalry, from what I know, I've not seen it yet. It's on my list. They felt like they were taking a real chance doing it, and I think they had like a really low budget, and it was like a passion project, and it just did very fucking well.
Yeah,
like, really, really well.
It's one of those ones that sort of burst out. It's not just a TV series and a book now. It's like people obsessing about the actors, and
they love it, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
I love that. It's fantastic, and all it takes is for a passionate, even person, to be like, I'm passionate about this thing, and I'm going to put my everything into it. That is incredibly appealing to people. Like people's passion for their own work and for things that they truly believe in is incredibly appealing. Even if it's like not your community or not like in your periphery. I don't know. There's some magnetism behind people really caring about something. I'm absolutely drawn to it. Like even if I didn't give a shit about a subject and somebody was like, I love this so much, I want to tell you about it. I'm like, okay, that's nice. I want to know what makes you happy.
Because I've not seen the series, and I've read half of the Heated Rivalry book, but I know so much about it because people in my office where I work, they're obsessed by it. It's like, oh, you've got to watch it. They keep on me about the cottage and all this kind of stuff. It's like, I'll get there eventually, but it's like, I think when it's people at work talking about books and queer literature, it's like, where did you hear that word? Where have you learned? Where have you learned about rimming or whatever? Like, why are you saying this to me? You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like I feel like a mum sometimes. The kids go like, "Where did you learn that word? Who's told you that? Who have you been hanging out with?" So I think it's like it's burst out from that. Like,
God, that's so funny.
Like the book community in like just a TV show is like actually it's part of a lot of people's life now, and like fair play to Rachel Reed. It's not 100% my thing. I'm not a massive sports romance type person. I don't know anything about ice hockey. But yeah, I don't think it's been a day where I haven't seen a clip of it or someone talking about it.
It's everywhere.
So,
but that's great. That's great because it's like when things become more mainstream like that, then I think it's easier for if you're on like the fringe of, I don't know, trying to get your stuff out there. And if you're in the same kind of realm, it must make it a lot easier because then it's like a hot topic, I suppose.
And as well, like you see quite a lot online this year, people talking about, oh, I've got an ice hockey romance. coming out, and everyone's like, "Oh, you've only written that because of Heated Rivalry." It's like, no, it's existed. It's like you're only aware of it now because the algorithm is now showing it to you. Like, these existed. It's not like it's just your eyes have been pulled towards that particular section of novels. So like they've always been there, and there's hundreds, but like, now they're here.
Yeah.
Just your focus on them, it doesn't mean they weren't there before. Just you just weren't looking in that direction.
Yeah. So you got to lead with the publication date.
Yeah.
This 10-year-old book. Oh, okay. So I just wanted to ask you before, because this time has flown by so quick. I did want to ask you about a different kind of superpower, because this is targeted to a much younger audience, and you also got the opportunity to write this with Bradley Richards, and it was based on a screenplay.
Yes, Bradley wrote a sort of a one-person play.
Okay.
About his experience of growing up with autism and sort of how his family sort of told him about his autism and got sort of like tried to settle him in that journey.
Okay.
And it literally, he put a tweet out about Christmas time 4 or 5 years ago and said, "Oh, what if I write a book?" And obviously this is like, he's already been announced as being in the second series of Heartstopper by that point, a couple of months before.
Okay.
So I just sent him a DM saying, like, "I've written some stuff in the past. If you want any help, give me a shout. If you're stuck on anything, I'm happy. Just ask me any questions, whatever makes it easy for you."
You
I didn't really think. Yeah.
No,
I thought I'll do it with hands, like,
Yeah.
like before I had an agent and stuff like that as well. So I'm self-published author. Like, if you need any help, let me know. Then it was on. I was coming back from my parents, hung over in the back of their car just after Christmas. And he just sent me a message like, "What if we write this together?" I was like, "What? Okay, fair enough."
That is so cool.
Yeah, so he sent the script across, and I sort of put that into a novella type thing, and then we did a few drafts and like Zoom calls to talk through it and read through it. And he knew like an autistic artist as well, so got her involved with like the front cover and all the like illustrations in between. And we sort of he wanted to mainly to do it. It didn't want to be like, "Oh, it's another celebrity writing a book."
Yeah.
He was sort of passionate about the project and didn't mind how it got out there at that time. So we did everything ourselves. So we did all the pre-ordering ourselves. At one point we had a stack of books in envelopes on my desk in my bedroom, printing all the labels myself, taking down the post office myself to send them out. And that was, I think, the sort of the Heartstopper effect really helped with that. And you realise like how big it is in, like we was talking about Heated Rivalry a bit, being in like a fandom that big and sort of seeing the inside a little bit more. And it wasn't just UK, we sent them internationally as well. I think we sent a copy to Peru, there's Costa Rica, Japan. There's what
wow.
I think there's in Vietnam, Australia. And it's like,
bloody hell.
This is like a bit crazy. Like,
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so we did like a couple of events in December. So we did one in London at the Common Press, and then in the afternoon went down to Feminist Bookshop, which I think is now closed sadly, which is a nice little bookshop in Brighton. And we did 2 panel events there, and it was Bradley sort of talking about his experiences, talking about the book. We had William, my friend William hosted it. He's host of Stammer Stories podcast, and he's got autism as well. So it's sort of talking about the book, but also it's mainly about Bradley's experiences. It wasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm not autistic, so I didn't want to sort of encroach too much and say this is what you should say and anything like that. So I sort of like, I could talk about the writing process, but any questions around the subject matter, that's for
you just like
host and the 2 panelists are like. Yeah, so it was really good, like meeting a lot of people who were saying the book helped them, which is really nice. And sort of like there's still people who message me and like all my stuff online on Instagram and stuff like that, who have come from that audience of people because of that book.
That's really
and I know,
nice.
like, yeah, now Bradley's got a book coming out this summer as well about what it is like to be autistic and how he coped with things and interviewing other people and their experience and things like that. So it's quite nice to see him grow in that as well. And he's got his own project as well that's going to be like traditionally published as well. And since we did that last time I was around his house and we signed all the copies to send out, I think it was that evening when I got home that it was announced he was on Celebrity Big Brother in the UK. And I remember, like, I thought I'll watch it because obviously we know Bradley.
Yeah.
And there's just one clip. It's him with Marsha Wallace, the West End, the Broadway star.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, and he's like, Bradley's like, oh, I've written a book. And I was like, oh my God, like they're discussing the book on Celebrity Big Brother with a Broadway star. And I think that's like the bit. It's like that's a bit weird. Like, and like thinking, oh God, I was actually involved in that. So it's quite cool.
Yeah,
but,
no kidding.
Yeah, quite crazy at the same time. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad like he's moved on with his own things and gone like he's in soaps and stuff like that and releasing his books. And I've got on my way to do my thing and writing adult books now. And it's like it was quite a nice little sort of clash in the middle, and then moved away again. So it's
what a good experience. It sounds like it was very rewarding for you.
I think there's a lot to learn from it as well. And like first time doing a panel event and sort of I've done a few of them now. So I did one say last week at the writing festival, and getting that experience is like in an independent bookshop.
Yeah.
With 50, 60 people there asking questions and interacting with people and signing books in person and that sort of buzz around it. I think that's it's a great experience. I think it's really helped. Like when I was at this panel event last week, it's like, oh, I'm fine now. I'll just go do the panel event. Then I realised the person chairing the panel was Kathleen Wyman, whose book I'm currently reading at the moment.
Oh wow!
Like, oh, that's like, it's weird how life works out, isn't it? But yeah, it's a good experience, different. But say that because that was a sort of slightly younger audience, but also it wasn't just aimed at people going through it. It's for like the siblings of people who had it and try that siblings to understand as well. So I think it's like sort of multi-level, like who could enjoy and take stuff from that book, which I think is really nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love that. That's so nice. I'm glad I asked about that. That's very wholesome. So as we're approaching the end of the show, I did pre-warn you, but I have two questions that I always ask people, not already ask people, at the end of every show. So what does success look like to you as a writer?
I'm never going to think, oh, my next book is going to sell 10 million copies. It's going to be the New York bestseller. It's going to be a hit Netflix show. As nice as that would be. I think it would just be seeing a small bit of progress every now and then, I think is good. Yeah. I think that's what, like, even today, there's a bookshop called Queer Lit, which is Europe's biggest LGBT bookstore up in Manchester. And they've now got my book in stock online. And they've got it apparently in stock in the store. And that's the first of my books that's made it into that bookstore. So in the past, I've had one engage the word. Now I'm in Queer Lit, and they share the story on their Instagram of my book today. And it's like,
that's so nice.
So that's today's success. And that'll keep me going for another 6 weeks. But it's always like, nice. I think just those small little bits, and like, look at where 10 years ago when I started, it's like, oh, 5 of my friends have bought my book. That was success back then. And then say I sold 10 copies at the writing festival last week. That was success. And so it's not like focusing on massive numbers and fame or anything like that. It's just, as long as I can keep doing what I'm doing and people enjoy it, I think that's what I think success is. And just the little wins here and there, and just like coming on this podcast, that's a success. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have thought 10 years ago that anyone wanted to actually talk to me about my writing journey or what it's like growing up and why I write and things like that. So it's just every little thing is a bonus for me. I think that's what is success for me.
That's so nice. You're a very wholesome person.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I do moan a lot as well. I don't do that on here.
Well, you only had to keep it together for an hour. So.
Like if I go to the supermarket to buy a pint of milk, 10 people annoy me before I've gone there and back.
That's different. In-person peopling is very different to online peopling. Very rude. Because you can clench your fists under the table and nobody's gonna know. So do you know what? I did that, and I've got really sharp nails, and I really hurt myself just then. Anyway, the price of doing a bit. My final question for you today is, if you could go back to 10 years ago when you first started writing and give yourself any advice, what advice would you give?
Like, fuck it, I'll be patient. Just stop fucking hoping everything happen right now. And like, not just like, I finished this book, right, when can I release it? When can I get, just like, it's a long, long journey. And and just expecting things to be done like, oh, I've got to do another draft, right? I've got 3 weeks, so, and setting myself a timeline. It's like just chill. It'll work out. Just like take your time and make sure you do it right, rather than getting too excited and trying to get out straight away. And that's like people often ask that online. It's like, oh, I've just finished my draft. Like, I need to get the query letter together. Any advice? And I'm always like, I know you don't want to hear this, and I know you'll probably ignore it for the first few weeks, but if you finish your book today, don't start editing it tomorrow. Don't start querying it next week. Go away for a bit, then come back and start again. Because I think that little bit of time away from your book and that the patience in your own journey will make you a better, I'll say better writer, but I don't mean people are bad. It's just, it will make a great book even better. It'll make an average book good, a good book better, a book great. And you can never do too many drafts, however painful that is. And if something needs to change and it seems like a massive change, it's worth doing if you think it's the right change.
I think that's great advice. I think definitely that slow it down mentality is incredibly important. I mean, there are writers that I know that give themselves a whole month before they go back and edit anything. And yeah, exactly, Grant. Fresh eyes definitely help. And if you've been like knee deep in a story, it's very hard to pick up on mistakes and plot and errors.
And even like fresh eyes, it doesn't mean walking away for a month or anything. It could just be, I'll send it to my Kindle and read it on the Kindle. Then you pick up different mistakes, you read different format. And like I had the read aloud function on Word with that horrible voice, but if you listen to it, you think, oh, has the voice missed out of a word there, or is that me missing out that word? And you do pick up, I think, listening back to it or reading it on the Kindle or printing it off and reading it out loud yourself, whatever works for you. Just read it in a different way and not just step away and then come back. Just because like I write on Word all the time, and I think even like in the final draft when I was with the publisher and doing the track changes, I thought, oh, that doesn't make any sense in this bit here. And like it's got past like 16 times I've read that and I've still missed it. So like you'll always pick up thing. And I think like if your book comes out, you'll probably proofread your novel 10,000 times, and as soon as it's printed, you'll pick up and flip to a page and you'll probably find the one mistake that stayed in there. And like that's just what writing is. Like you've written 80,000, 100,000 words or whatever, and it's like to make the odd mistake here and there, it's like it's not the end of the world. So don't worry about things that you can't change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw I think it was something on Threads, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what they said, but it's something along the lines of, please don't message me letting me know about that mistake in my book.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And I was like, I love that so much. She survived edits and passes and blah, 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 and she's still here. And I'm like, yes.
One thing I'm proud of in mine, so I got one bit where Harry, the main character, is laying on his bed for his first night in Soho, and he's got the window open. It's like a lovely spring evening. There's a helicopter coming over, so I put the helicopter chuttering in the clouds. And I thought, I'm not sure if chuttering's a word or not, but I won't check. It sounds right. A helicopter chutters. And then I got the track changes back from the editor at Spectrum Publishing, and like, oh, just let you know, you've put chuttering here. That's the sound a guinea pig makes. I was like, yeah, but like onomatopoeically, it sounds right. He's like, oh, I was like, you could put whirring instead. I was like, nah, chattering sounds better. And I managed to keep chattering in there. I'm really happy, guinea pigs or not. So like, yeah, sometimes you have to fight for your silly little bits that you like.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's so funny. Also, I agree with you. I think chattering is a better word than whirring.
Yeah. It just sounds nicer. It sounds more like a helicopter.
It does sound more like a helicopter. Fuck guinea pigs. No, I'm kidding.
We'll clip that and send it to Peter.
We can share words. Helicopter walker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, walker. I don't know if that's offensive. It sounds like it is.
It's also Shakira, isn't it?
Is it?
that waka waka, wasn't it? But
yeah,
that fine line between helicopters and hero.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, and it was so nice to get to know you. And I'm so pleased that you are able to celebrate this latest book. So for those who are watching the recording or you've watched live, go and check out East End Boys and West End Girls. There's a QR code, but there is a link below. So I've made it very easy for you. Go read it. Thanks again, and thank you to those that joined us. That is Pac-Man. Yep, that was the Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, that's
yes,
right.
Thank you, Grant. Okay, well, thank you for whoever has joined us today. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the other side, James. Goodbye.